Hey guys, I'm here today to talk about film grain. Now, I came from the film school way back in the day. In the 70s, I started shooting film. I did all my photo education in film, and in fact, I didn't even get a digital camera till well into the new century. So what is the allure of film? Well, the allure of film is one thing, and that is the grain. I'm not into the chemical stuff anymore. I've sniffed enough fixer for a lifetime. So I'm going to show you how to set up film grain and crunchy monochrome settings in your Lumix camera. All right, let's hit it. Now, if you're a film shooter, either present or from the past, let me know what your favorite grainy film type is. I seem to recall Ilford HP5, underexposed, like push processed, a couple of stops, was really granular. You could chew that grain. But maybe there's other films that I don't know about, that I haven't shot. Maybe there's some new films on the market too. Now, of course, we strove for less grain in our photos back in the day. And with digital, basically, you don't have grain at all. You get noise from underexposure, from artifacts, noise artifacts from high ISO. But the grain part is lacking. But you can add it in. So let's have a look at the back of the camera and I'll show you how to add in some film grain effects. Okay, the first thing we have to do is get into our photo style menu. And you can see that there are 3 monochrome modes and they all have the same settings that you can adjust on the sidebar. So for the most crunchy effect, I'm going to use the L monochrome D, and this also adds quite a bit of contrast to your scene. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to juice up some of the contrast. I'm going to leave the sharpness as is, noise reduction as is. Color tone, if you like a warm tone, you can hit the minus. And if you like a cooler color tone, you can go plus. I usually leave it on -1 or 0. You can also use filters. Now these are color filters that will affect your scene. So yellow filters affect yellow in the scene, orange, red filters affect the reds in the scene, green affect the greens in the scene. So something with foliage would be very affected by using the green filter. I'll let you experiment with those. This video is really about the grain effect. So we have some settings, so off, low, standard, and high. Now high is very grainy, so use with caution. And like I always say, you really need to experiment yourself. So let's say you have some images like I have here, and when you play them back, if you hit the display, you can see the settings that you used for each of the images. So you can see in this case, I had contrast +5, sharpness 0, noise reduction 0, color tone -1, as I showed you, and the filter effect was off, and the grain effect was standard. And you can see that I scrolled through different grain effects in my testing. And I suggest that you do the same. All right, let's look at these on the computer now so that you can see the grain up close. Now I've shot these using my Lumix G100. I love that little camera. And in fact, I'm shooting this video with that little camera too. And I just want you to know that I have done no post-processing on any of these images. What you see is what you get. I've pulled these JPEGs directly into my video editing software from the camera. If you find that the L monochrome D is just a little too intense for you, try one of the other monochrome settings. They're less contrasty, and most of all, have fun experimenting. For me, the experimenting part is the fun part. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of you who watch my videos, buy me coffees, give me a super thanks. You're the best. You keep me going. So what about video? Do these things work in video modes? And let's check it out. I've got it in my photo style in video, and you can see that this little box for film grain is grayed out. So unfortunately, you cannot use the high film grain or any film grain in the video mode. Now, if there is a way to do this that I don't know about, please let me know in the comments below. Now, of course, I can add grain in post-processing of my videos, but it would sure be nice to get it right in the camera. Now, I do suggest, as usual, to test out the settings for yourself because everyone's taste is different and you can have too much grain.